Alright guys, time to grab here back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far, and today we're going to talk about a number of interesting topics that have happened in the Call of Duty community over the last 24 hours. The main one of which being Frosty moving back to Halo Infinite for 2021. Maybe he didn't get an offer, I imagine, in the CDL, decided to go back to Halo. This is a big move, but the main real thing about it is the drama that went down afterwards on Twitter with him kind of versus the Florida Mutineers and Ferro coming into the discussion as well, supposedly stuck on that team given the situation that's happened right now, not being able to get onto New York like he wanted to get. Number of discussions here to have. Lucky if you guys enjoy the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. Let's hop into things then. The first big news really that came out a couple of days ago was, well, the Overwatch League's commissioner stepping down, and as we saw yesterday, it's actually going to be Joanna Ferries over at the Call of Duty League who is also going to step up into the Overwatch League and, well, be the commissioner for both leagues, which is an interesting thing from a couple of different perspectives. We haven't seen too much of her from the Call of Duty League this season, but, well, a lot of people behind the scenes say she does do a very good job. Having to kind of split her attention like this may not be the ideal thing for the Call of Duty League, but at the same time it does give the opportunity for her to build a team and I suppose have more influence in Activision more generally, which may actually be beneficial as well. Adam Apicella here says on Reddit, this is huge for the CDL. Johanna is a juggernaut out there, and her having more power means the CDL will get more attention. Don't get distracted by her being over both leagues now. It just means she will be building a real team around her to do both the right way. She is literally the best person for this job when you consider not only the league needs, but managing the owners, managing the studios, and managing the politics in Activision Blizzard. I could never have done that job. Super stoked for her. So yeah, pretty ringing praise from Adam Apicella. Have to see how this one develops going forward. But here we go then. Yesterday, the Sentinels come out and say the most prolific Halo squad is reborn. Welcome home, Frosty. So I think he's going to be teaming alongside Lethal, Snakebite, and Royal 2. So legendary Halo team, of course. He's been playing Halo for a long time. At former world champion, of course, is Frosty. Goes into Call of Duty for a couple of seasons. In, well, the late half of Black Ops 4, he was on Midnight at the World Championships. He was on Enigma 6 slightly before then. And then, of course, he goes on to the Florida Mutineers last season with Ogre 2 as the general manager over at Florida. And, well, competes in Call of Duty for one season, wins a few online championships, and now is going to go straight back to Halo. So interesting to see he hasn't really got an offer here, given, well, I think if I was a number of Pro League teams, I may have been considering it. Yes, he wasn't the shining star on that Florida Mutineers team. Awakening was maybe considered their best player. Ferro, in my opinion, was their best player. Skies was up there as well, who was like, obviously that core three was phenomenal. And then you've got Havoc and Frosty, who definitely played their roles on the team and contributed certainly to them winning, and, well, didn't have to play necessarily the heavy slayer roles. If I was a team like maybe Seattle, like Los Angeles Guerrillas, like Paris Legion, even that probably wouldn't work, I would have been maybe thinking about how do we get this guy into our roster and build something around him. But, well, it doesn't seem like he got an offer, because I imagine if he did, he probably would have stayed in the CDL, because Halo Infinite has been delayed somewhat. We saw that news a while ago as well. But so, you know, Shotzi was saying, do I go back to Halo? And then, well, he basically said it's been delayed, so there's no chance I'm going back to Halo now. But Frosty as well, he's actually going to do it. So really interesting to see you just hop into Call of Duty here and, well, straight out a couple of years later. And obviously a phenomenal player. I'm going to miss him, to be honest, in the scene. I think he was a great asset to that Florida Mutineers team. But, well, here come the replies. Ferro says, okay, Goat, I see you. Lead the way for Lord knows that boy Caesar needs it. So, you know, talking about skies or whatever. Just, this is a bit tongue-in-cheek. But the next couple of things get a little bit more interesting, right? So Frosty comes home with back home Sentinels, yeah, rooting for you, say the Florida Mutineers. And then we get this. So Mutineers come out with, wait, was Modern Warfare really that bad? Good luck in your new journey at Frosty. And then he comes with this at all. I do not mess with you at all, but good luck. So getting absolutely ratioed here on the timeline. Ferro then comes back with, bro, I'm crying. So, well, of course, Frosty clearly not too happy with the management, I suppose, at the Florida Mutineers. Yes, well, Ogre 2 is his general manager over at Florida, but maybe he feels somewhat disrespected, the fact that they didn't decide to sign him back on. And, well, it's difficult to read into exactly what this could mean, but, well, it clearly seems like he's not too happy with the management staff over there and some of the decisions that have been made over the course of the season. You then, of course, have Ferro comes into the mix. He was a great player on that team last season, but he came in kind of middle of last season when Pristini stepped out for the mental health situation that he had at the time. So I imagine Ferro's on like a very low, like, you know, minimum salary, substitute kind of contract, which means it's very cheap for the Florida Mutineers to just extend him and then say, yo, we're not going to sell Ferro for like, well, any amount of money basically, unless New York want to pay us an absolute bag for it. So, you know, he was linked to New York as their potential fourth alongside Zuma, Mac, and Clayster. Doesn't look like that's happening now. Looks like they've got Hydra in the team. Looks like potentially John is going to be in the team. And the question mark as to who's going to start out of those four is not going to be determined, I imagine, for quite a while. But it seems to me that Ferro's not particularly happy with how the situation has gone down over the Florida Mutineers. And, well, it's really really creates an interesting dynamic that, yes, okay, you've got Sky's Awakening, Pharaoh, +1 on that team. Will it just be Havoc and they just get rid of Frosty and keep the rest of the 4 guys? Because they announced Frosty was released from the Mutineers a while ago, in addition to Morks. But, you know, it really creates an interesting dynamic in that if he doesn't really, he's not particularly happy, maybe Pharaoh's kind of salty in a sense that he wasn't able to leave and felt kind of stuck in that sense. And, well, he's going to now be on this team, and is he particularly keen to play for the Florida Mutineers team? And it all creates an interesting dynamic, really, where he may feel maybe feels somewhat disrespected, as maybe Frosty does, by this organization. And, well, is that necessarily a recipe for success as a team? Maybe not right now. So interesting that players like Pharaoh are coming out to say similar things like this on the timeline. Snakebite then says, welcome back, brother, let's go get another ring. And Frosty says, glad to be back, brother, feels good to have some champions by my side once again. So, well, despite the fact that he did win 3 events in the Modern Warfare season, almost kind of subtweeting his team maybe and saying that they didn't have like the winning mentality or whatever. And, well, I don't know, maybe I'm reading into this too far, but just the fact that he says, feels good to have champions by my side once again, feels like he doesn't feel like he had them before, and, well, was lacking that element to the team. But yeah, maybe I'm going too far. Mutineers then come back with the old dead body reported thing with Florida right here in response to the Frosty stuff, but they said a similar thing on the Reddit as well. But still, I think the damage has kind of been done by what Frosty had to say. This then is from the CDL website. We can see a while ago now, Sky's Awakening and Pharaoh, all their contracts have officially been extended. So I imagine this will be at least 3 of the 4 starting players on the Florida Mutineers squad. Pharaoh definitely was interested to go elsewhere. I think he was in discussions with New York, potentially in discussions with other teams as well, but it hasn't happened. And, well, he may be stuck on a relatively low salaried contract once again here, like he was brought in as a substitute, and, well, maybe not getting his worth in the sense, given how good a player he was, to be honest, throughout the Modern Warfare season, in my opinion. These are their results then. So they won 3 events, one of which with Morks on early season at the Dallas event, then Minnesota and Paris. They won back-to-back with those phenomenal weekends when Awakening did first join the team. But after that kind of fell off, right? And maybe Frosty thinks, you know, the winning mentality wasn't quite there with the latter half of the season. Now he moves over back to Halo, and it seems like no other team has decided to pick him up here. If you were a general manager of a few of these teams, would you have kept him up? Would you have, if you were Mutineers, have kept him on? I think that's difficult to justify, but, you know, maybe some of the other teams could definitely have benefited from a guy like Frosty coming into their team, but maybe, to be honest, he just wanted to go back to Halo anyway. He's been playing it a lot for a while, and, yeah, maybe it was his desire all along to go back to Halo Infinite. But if he did get an offer, would he have stayed? I mean, that's certainly a question that is up in the air as it stands right now. This was a crazy clip as well of him getting a 1v4 against LAG a while ago, so I'll finish out with this one, and I'll also finish out with his unbelievable 1 versus 4 yesterday that Hitch got in his own throwback tournament, which was remarkable. I think Merk was the guy getting turned on at the end. Aches also, like, he was the first death in this, as he will be very keen to remind you, but he also dropped 74, did Aches in a demolition match on Scrapyards. So, yeah, Patty P or Patrice Price being an absolute unit on the map in this Modern Warfare 2 throwback tournament, and maybe that will get him picked up into the league as well. So, yeah, I don't know, just funny stuff. I think there's more like this to follow. I think there's a Ghost one coming relatively soon as well. So these are always entertaining, and, yeah, well, thanks to Hitch for putting on a show for the community again and again and again. Thank you for watching the video and making it this far. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the channel grow. Very intrigued to hear your thoughts down below on the Frosty stuff. Do you think that he's genuinely very frustrated with this organization? Do you think it's somewhat tongue-in-cheek? And what could the Pharaoh stuff potentially mean for next season if he does feel somewhat stuck on that squad? And, well, will Frosty ever come back in Call of Duty's future? Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you next time.
As it was foretold, definitely looking at an advantage towards the Gorillas, and they're not letting that one up there. But 3v1 for Frosty right now. 3v2.
This would technically be an ace as well if he manages to pull this off. This would be an ace 1v4, and now it's just Vivid. Where is he on the minimap? He's absolutely nowhere. However, on the truck... Did you see him, Frosty? Did you? Did you? Oh! Frosty! Oh my god!
Nothing I see. They stun B. They stun B. That means there's got to be one low car.
Gotta be hotel. Start glitching. Hotel already in A in the corner, and 2B. In A. To your right. As soon as you come out, Hitch to your right.
Okay.
Right there, straight ahead where you're aiming right now. It's in the right corner. Oh. Right there, you see him. And he was hotel, and there was B.
He's under bridge.
Complete the mission.
Nice to your left, close left.
You see him behind the car.
Sheesh. 0 for 2. You have a minute and a half, bro. You can work this.
He's got no throwables. Top clock. Different guy.
Yeah, it was Ray. Yeah,
it was Ray. Ray's in close. He's probably gonna climb ladder and play Z. Let's go, baby. You win these.
You're playing Ray and Joey.
You got 60.
Time's almost up.
Yep, top right.
Let her go, let her go, let her go.
Big.
You're right.
Close. That's a good job. You got 40.
Joey, last guy.
Behind you.
Oh my god! What? Oh my god! Oh my god!
No!
No, you did not!
No!
Joseph!
It can't be! Not like this!
All right, let's go.